Subconsciously, I think we are looking at the same angle. Maybe not. Despite that, I think you're really gonna like this review. I should probably look at the camera at this point, though. Subconsciously is the newest album released by Black Coffee, and we're going to review that here today on Y.E.S. So looking through his discography here, it's a little complicated because it not only includes CDs, but also a DVD and EPs. So we're just going to call this the 9th project. And since I've been reviewing music, I have steadily branched out my EDM categories a little bit more. Most of my EDM was definitely revolving around house, bro step, techno, just kind of in that realm a little bit of the ambient stuff, a little bit more maybe around what deadmau5 was doing. But I've been listening to a variety of different EDM recently, and wow, this album makes me think I've been missing out on a guy who's been making some really good stuff. Now, it's not commonplace personally for me to really look at other reviews. I really only care about, when it comes to music, my own opinion. Sometimes I'll listen to what another person has, and I have some other friends who review music as well, and I'll give them the time of day to hear them out. But I don't really rely on a lot of other professional sites personally to be able to get my opinion or to validate it per se. But this one reminded me a little bit of maybe some other albums I reviewed recently. I think I'm most specifically thinking of DMA's. I really like that album, The Glow, and I just feel like not a lot of people gave it the time of day, except for maybe a few people where I was looking and browsing on the internet. This one, for Black Coffee, I feel like this album can go in multiple ways depending on who you are. I can see a lot of people being bored by it. I can see a lot of people thinking it's kind of middle of the road and enjoying some aspects of it. And then there's people like me who really got a surprise kick out of it. I was surprised by, I'm really trying to find the words to describe it. It almost feels like a really dark, slow burn, gradually emerging, and just kind of gradually opening with a surprise of enjoyment. I don't have really overreaching huge words to be able to try and describe what I really enjoyed out of it. Maybe some will come out when I'm trying to review this album, but what I'm trying to get at is I was surprised. His first 4 tracks in here I really enjoyed, especially the first time around. The second time around I was like, I still like them, but I was just thinking like, I'm not sure if I really grasped it all the more. But usually my second time listening to an album, in order to try and finalize a review, I'm a little bit more, skeptical per se when I'm trying to figure out like what are the good and potentially bad points in the songs here. So these first 4, I'm like, if someone else was maybe not really into this kind of music, maybe this would be their excuse not to want to continue listening to it. Maybe. With songs like Lost that features DJ Angelo and Jin Dao, I hope I pronounced that right, just has like a slow, calm way to start the album. Then following that, you have songs like You Need Me that features Maxine Ashley and Sung Il Masiam. It's like easy and pleasant to listen to. Until you get to the 5th track, Time, that features Cassie. Along with this consistent, smooth beat that's played in here, and a nice touch of minute percussion in here, I think that Cassie actually adds the right kind of vocals that kind of just allow the smoothness to continue progressing. Her surprise in here, at least for someone like me who has followed her before, it's not, too distracting. I know a lot of other people may not really know who she is. If you follow any hip-hop history, she has a very deep history with P. Diddy. but she hasn't emerged as strongly as I feel like she should have. I'm not saying she's a super A-plus artist yet, but I think that she has all the potential to be able to be more surprising than other people give her credit for. And right after that, we get Usher, featured in the song La La La. I've been waiting to hear Usher in a more positive light in something. I didn't really care for his project he did with Zaytoven a few years ago, but despite that, I still love Usher. Hearing his voice is wonderful. It's like, oh wow, that's so relieving to be able to hear him in something good. And this song has great guitar. I was just like, yes, the whole time for the guitar in here. One song I do want to highlight, although I do have to, mention it's a C2C song, is the song 10 Missed Calls that features both Josie and Pharrell Williams. This is probably the one where, like, if he was purposely marketing in the mainstream aspect, this is the one he probably should have gone with. Skipping down to the 10th track in here, the song Wish You Were Here that features Misaki, beautiful muted trumpet. Along with the piano and drums. Both. All work so good in here. Then we get Drive. Edit, I guess, features David Guetta. Pretty cool. Along with Delilah Matanagu, sorry, is also in here. Just has an added electric techno at the end of here. I really enjoyed that. Along with the tropical instrumentation, that's always great. You can always win me over with tropical. And then just for fun, I feel like I'll just mention real quick the song Ready For You, which features Celeste, has this subtle saxophone in here. It just, it adds something. I just enjoy that aspect. And having said all that together with every little special detail that I think really makes this album have more pluses than negatives, the production in here is just wonderfully taken care of. I can tell that Black Coffee really took care of each song on an individual basis, and it really just doesn't care about critical reception, or at least it doesn't give that impression. Despite some of the high caliber features in here, it doesn't take itself self-seriously, or it's not trying to be self-important, rather. Despite having Usher, Pharrell Williams, it even has Diplo in here. It knows it can hold its own, but it knows that those artists are great additional elements. It's like a really good frosting added on to a dessert of some kind, but that dessert already is just very tasty. It's just, having some frosting on top of it would probably just be like, something really good. Maybe for presentation purposes, that is what it needs to have in order to maybe win you over ever so slightly. Regardless, I think Black Coffee is trying to entrust into the listener that when you listen to this album, you, the listener, will maybe be entrusted to give it the time of day. And I think that this surprises the heck out of me personally. At the same time, I don't blame anyone who doesn't really get into this album. I think that it sets a particular mood, but I think it's one that everyone could relate to. Maybe it's just not the one that you're going to be into when you give it the first listen. I personally feel that the craftsmanship of this album deserves more love and respect than probably it is receiving. It deserves its proper due, and that's why I'm going to recommend it very highly on this channel. So after having listened and reviewed this album, I'm going to give production an A+, creativity an A-, expression and lyrics an A, and this album is going to get
Yes.
Like I said before, I think there's plenty of people who are going to think this is slightly more middle of the road, and some people just won't be interested at all. I think someone who appreciates the details of music is going to say, I agree with you. I think this album has so many more charms in it that, you just maybe wouldn't recognize if you haven't given it the time of day. So, go check it out. That's my recommendation. You really should. You really should. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and be sure to leave a like for the video as well as comment down below if you want to engage with me. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.